let me take this money and figure out shit with my child, with my grandchild, and this thing that's going on. But this is beyond Albert. This is justice for every other person that has been killed by police. This is demanding an end to police brutality in our country. Haiwezi kuwa tukipiga round mtaa, we are looking over our shoulders about, I hope no one is coming to abduct me. I hope no one is going to kill me. I hope no one is going to say I beat my head on the wall and committed suicide. We must birth a new reality for ourselves. So tomorrow it's important that we show up on the streets and be very clear about the demands that we have. And this is the point where we also bring the finance bill, guys. I don't know kama mmeangalia hiyo finance bill, but it is pathetic. It is something that must be defeated. It is something that must be discussed. It is something that must also be at the forefront of our discussions. Sometimes tunasahau interconnectedness of struggle yetu kwa the general maandamanos that we are having. Yes, we are demanding justice for Albert Ojwang, but we are also demanding to reject the finance bill. Hakuna taxes, hakuna anything impactful than e-taxes inatufanyia in our country. And this finance bill takes away healthcare. This finance bill takes away education. This finance bill is more retrogressive than the 2024 finance bill. So we need to start talking about it. We need to start rejecting it. We need to start calling out Parliament against it. I'm sure they think by giving Baba Ojwang 2 million is going to silence us, but we need to find other ways to make sure we are maintaining the momentum on the streets that will eventually culminate into Ruto must go. And I think we also need to have a transitional committee. Tusijipate kama June 25th vile power ilifall kwa streets, Raila and co wakaiokota. The young people need to start positioning themselves to collect power if it falls on the streets. We are the ones on the streets. Last maandamanos, it was just us, man. Ni sisi tu tulikuwa huko tunakula tear gas. Nikaenda Hosi, for example. But when it comes to collecting political power, we're always looking outside of ourselves. Kama jana nimeona mse ametweet that Wamunyoro cannot just be talking about what different thing is he gonna do when he takes power. But we are not looking for Wamunyoro to take power. We are not there. We don't even want him to take power. We welcome his attack on Ruto, lakini alternative political leadership does not have Wamunyoro there. So as young people, we must have an end goal to our political activities. It does not end at the maandamanos, guys. What happens beyond maandamano? We know our power, we know our might, but we must be able to consolidate that power. We must be able to consolidate the gains we have made. We must be able to see beyond, kupanga mbele, kuona, this is what's going to happen. Tutademo watu wengi, probably umse ata chicken out, which already ameshaanza kuchicken out. Kusema kwamba, these people, their plan is just Ruto must go. They don't have a plan on education. They don't have a plan on healthcare. Ruto must go cannot be a plan. I cannot hand over power to people who just say Ruto must go. So already this means in his mind, he's seeing the possibility of handing over power. But to whom is he handing over power? To us who are not clear about our leadership structures, etc, etc. So ni lazima tuanze kuona power ikifall kwa street, tutaiokota aje wase. Juu itafall, itaanguka. Tutaamka siku moja, tupate Ruto ameenda wapi? Russia, ama India, ama wherever, to his allies. And then what's going to happen to our country? Military is going to take over. So as much as we are protesting and demanding justice for Albert Ojwang, it is not an isolated issue. We are in a political struggle for power that is going to help us realize the implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the realization of human rights, the dignity of the Kenyan people, the sovereignty of the Kenyan people. So we cannot escape being organized. We cannot allow for power to be taken by retrogressive forces who don't even care about power, who've not been fighting, who've just been waiting for Gen Zs, waandamane, mambo ikue moto, wakuje wachukue power. So One, ni lazima tukuwe clear about our objectives. Two, ni lazima to consolidate gains zenye tumemake na zenye tunaenda kumake, because we are going to make so many gains, but when we are not organized, it is other people who are going to collect the gains we have made. So me, I'm pushing for consolidation of the Gen Z movement. I'm pushing for our collective leadership. I'm pushing for clarity on the way forward, even when power falls on the streets. Back to you, Wanjiro and KOT.
Wanjiro, can I ask you a tangential question? That doesn't require a response, just for something for people to think about.
Yes, that's just something for people to think about, and to still say we need to turn up for maandamano kesho. We are building up to something. We are on to something, guys. That's what I'm saying. We are on to something, but we need to be prepared enough. We cannot be on to something when we are not prepared. We need to see the end of this. Tunaelekea wapi? It is likely to toa us where? What is likely to happen with our huge numbers on the streets, with our very many demands? This is political power, guys. Raila could never do what we're doing. Waminyoro would never do what we're doing, but we don't have a central command, which is important.
It goes as follows. Obviously I'll be on the streets tomorrow. Mwenzenu nitakuwa pale. Why is this obsession? I think it was raised by the last speaker, and you and Jiro have tangentially repeated it. What's this obsession with? We eat the money, then we do what we want. Tuchukue pesa, we don't know how we struggle. We are waging a moral campaign here. What's this? Atuletee pesa and then tutampigia kura and do something else. Is there another way around this? It's irritating.
I think that's a good question. I get fought a lot when answering that question because I'm for the idea don't take that money, but hawasikiangi. Saa zingine watu walisema Yesu hata yeye alishindwa na watu. Anyway, I want to give the next lady, who is just Eileen, and then I think I will go to Majariwa, Mzarendo, Mzee Joan, Prince Brian, and Alenga. So just Eileen, the mic is yours. Are you ready for tomorrow?
Hi, yes, I am very ready for tomorrow. Hata last Thursday tulikuwa hapo Huduma Center, niliona kina Kiuti Sonko. The Oya hakuni recognize. So me niko very ready for tomorrow, and I just have like 4-5 points I want to put across. One ni hiyo issue ya guns. Last Thursday maandamano tulikuwa dispersed. Juu najua sasa tulikuwa tunawaona wakikuja. Haujui kama ni wale wenye wanaabductingi watu ama ni the guns. So juu last maandamano nilikuwa naona wakitoka National Assembly, wanakuja wakiwa wamevaa masks na wako na, hata I took pictures of them na nikapost on my socials yao maguns, na one of them alikuwa recognized, anaitwa Saruku na ni youth leader pale Viwandani. Wao ndo alikuwa among, so venye nilimpost ndo watu waliweza kumrecognize. And another thing is like kesho Jumi place natoka, kesho nitafika tao mapema cause wao wana block barabara, and wakisha block kama last ya 25th ile yenye tulifika parliament wali block barabara za huku, so it was kinda hard. So kesho pia mimi nitakuwa nafika tao and a few other people cause hey, we need numbers and it's easier if something happens to me or to them, at least I know. Yeah, and with everything too that is happening in our country sai, hata huyu DIG Lagat ku step aside, that's just like showing us a middle finger. So bado tumejam na kesho tutafika streets, and the most beautiful thing about this movement is that it's organic. Hakuna mtu ananipersuade nifike streets kesho, nafika because I want a working system. Sitaki kwenda majuu, nataka kuishi Kenya, nipate watoto Kenya and have a family in Kenya. So I need the systems to work for me and for my family in future. So that's why kesho pia tunaandamana. You know, there's just too much. And about the finance bill, mimi nimeipitia naongoja tu hivi. Yeah, I know there's nothing good in there. I haven't seen anything good in the finance bill 2025. And I have read it over and over. I have tried to create awareness, kuambia wase. So PO finance bill, we will be here. Yeah, and just as I wind up, comrades, when you watafika kesho tao, please inform your friends mali uko. Yeah, isifike ati ni jioni time. Kama una fare, tuambie mapema. Isifike jioni sasa time ya kwenda home and tuko na comrades wengine wenye wako stranded tao. Hapana, hatutaki kupatana na what we saw in Kware last year. Yeah, so it would be good kama pia tuna ensure too that all comrades wako accounted for in the end of Tuesday protest. And tomorrow, please, let's show up for all the 162 Kenyans plus Albert Ojwang, who have not received justice, to show up in numbers. And we Kenya ni yetu manze. So sisi ndo tutaijenga. We will decide the direction that it wants to take. Sindio? So kesho tutakuwa streets, demanding for our King Kenya, because Kenya ni home. Yeah, I think that's all for me. I'm following the space. I like what we are doing here. Hii ni poa sana. Tuendelee tu hivi. The revolution is almost there. We're almost getting it all done. Yeah, thank you.
Asante sana, just Irene. Kesho ni kesho. I like it when we have ladies who are going to the states and fighting for justice. It's so inspiring, and it's actually such a beautiful thing. We love you for that, and keep safe. Stay in groups together, and together, see, one day we'll actually gather up and have a space of Thanksgiving. I think after Duto Amesha talk, we shall have that. And we shall appreciate each and every person who actually took part in removing this person. Anyway, away from the ladies, let me go to the gents now. We have Majariwa. The mic is yours. Then from Majariwa, I go to Mzarendo. I go to Patrick, Mzee John, and Prince Brian. So Majariwa, take over. And first, before you take over, are you ready for tomorrow? Well, I can't hear Majariwa. So maybe you can drop, then refresh your phone, then come back again. Mzarendo, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Wanjiro and Kioti. I hope I'm very much audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So before you ask me the question whether I'm ready for tomorrow, I want to say I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm ready for Tuesday. Now, as we go for Tuesday, I was working on some posters. I want us tomorrow to communicate to the world our demands. What we demand from this rogue regime. And the things I was working on are these. Number one, prosecution of Lagat, Amin, and Kanja for perjury, according to sections 108 to 111 of the Penal Code, which calls for their imprisonment for up to 7 years. Na tusiambiwe hakuna evidence. We saw them take an oath in parliament and lying before national television and the whole world. So that alone, if you read section 8 of chapter 63 of the Kenyan law, if you read chapter 63 of the Kenyan law, section 108, what Amin, Lagat, and Kanja did amounts to perjury, and we demand their prosecution. Demand number 2, reforms at the National Police Service Commission for failure to kickstart an investigation against the DIG as Article 245 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010 demands. It is actually the National Police Commission who should kickstart in the investigation against Lagat and then give recommendations to the president to fire him. because it is only the president who has powers to fire the DIG. And if that is not possible, we demand for the full resignation of Eliud Lagat. Demand number 4, we demand the DCI to reveal the person who the deputy OCS of Central Police Station was speaking to on phone for 24 minutes when they took the body of Ojwang to Mbagathi Hospital. The same way they tracked Ojwang to their home in Homa Bay. We want them the same way to collude, to come together with Safaricom and give us the person Nganga was speaking to at Mbagathi Hospital, and also the details of the conversation Nganga was having with the person he was speaking to on that 24-minute call. Demand number 5, that the 2 other officers together with Nganga who took the body of Ojwang to Mbagathi Hospital, they took it there and they claimed they were taking him to hospital for medical care. Police are trained on emergency response, emergency medical response. We demand that the 3 be prosecuted for what is called in medical emergency response as negligence for duty of care. Because a person who is in critical condition is carried using an ambulance and not a police Land Cruiser. Part 2 of their negligence, if it is true, Ojwang needed medical urgency, why then did they take over 20 minutes with the casualty who is in critical condition waiting for him to be taken for emergency care? Demand number 5, interdiction of all police officers who went to Homa Bay. Unajua kuna watu hapa tunawasahau. Hawa watu walienda Homa Bay. What have been done to them? Nini imefanyiwa hawa watu 6 wenye walienda na motorbike kuchukua Ojwang? They were actually police officers. What has been done to them? Tumeambiwa tu majina ya watu wawili, Segei and Rapudo. Who are the remaining 4? Can they come to the limelight and give an one-on-one account how Mukwana was giving his one-on-one account today? And lastly, as I land, I want to tell Kenyans this. I was speaking to KOT earlier today about goons mobilized by Sakaja and one Mosiria who are beating people on Thursday last week. We want to put Sakaja on notice. We want to put Mosiria, the county chief executive officer, on notice ya kwamba if you try to bring goons again tomorrow on the streets, we will expose you. In fact, I was asking KOT if we can do placards also exposing Sakaja and Mosiria for what they did last Thursday. We can also do placards to expose them.
Mzalendo Dugu, we can't hear you very well. So I am going to the next person, unfortunately. Katika, maybe check your network. Oh my God, sorry. As we continue, Mzalendo,
we are demonstrating
thank
peacefully.
you so much. Check your network, then you come back. I'll give you the mic. You finish your submissions. Thank you, Mzalendo. Mzee John Joronge. Mtu anaweza dhani si Mkikuyu. John Joronge, the mic is yours.
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Mzalendo, would you maybe refresh your phone, then you come back? Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Mzee.
Sawa, asante sana juu ya kupata hii chance. I hope mko fiti. Mi niko ready for tomorrow. Wase tutokee. This our moment. Uko na ya one of us mwenye alikufa. We have to stand with them na to stand na our country. It is painful mayouth kukua wakikufa venye wanakufa. Na ati hakuna kitu si tunaweza fanya. So mi naaji wase, let us tutokee na tusirelent, tusitokee. Mjue tukitokea tunatokeanga kunakuwa na disruption ya biashara na activities zingine zenye zina happen kwa country. So protest zetu lazima count for something. Tusitokee tu alafu turudi home, vitu zirudi normal. Mi hata naonanga lazima kukue na something yenye huwa tunahitajika kukua tukifanya kila time kitu mbaya ikihappen. Tukue yani ni kama tuko na system of protest, yani protest, to normalize protest kila time. Ati sometimes hata si lazima to hold space ati ndo watu watokee kwa maandamano. Ukisikia tu ati sijui youth fulani amekufa mahali ama kitu mbaya imehappen, wewe jua tu kesho yake tunatokea maandamano. Lazima ikuwe ni a culture juu sasa the only way ya watu kueleweka ni watu kutokea physically. Tutokee kwa ground, tufanye shughuli yetu bila kurudi nyuma, because that is the only way tunaenda ku save situation. So maandamano zetu lazima they count for something. Nimesikia msee akisema ati we do it once and for all. Na sasa kama saa hii Albert Ojwang alikufa, but kuko na other cases zenye zinatokea ati mayouth wengine bado wanaendelea kukufia kwa cell. So sidhani ati ni kitu tunaweza fanya just mara moja pekee na tuweze kueradicate all the ills. Lazima to make plans ya venye tutakuwa tukitokea, either maybe ni weekly ama monthly, but it has to be that way. So on other issues kama bills, you know, tunahitaji pia ku dig deeper into reading. Juu protest kama za last year watu walitokea juu walikuwa na awareness ati bill yenye iko tabled in parliament ni mbovu. So without reading hatuwezi pata hii information. Na I like the campaign ya kuambia watu wa join X. Hii ndo platform yenye tunapatana na tuna have hizi conversations, tunasikizana, tunaelewana, tunasema acha tutokee, this how we are going to save our country. Naweza taka kupeana one instance ya maandamano zenye zili happen last year, June 25th. Mi siku make kwenda ya Nairobi CBD na ama wenye waliingia parliament. So mi niliattend maandamano yenye ilikuwa Thika. Hiyo maandamano hakukuwa na tear gas, hakukuwa na shooting, hakukuwa na looting of property. Watu walibehave vizuri sana. So mi naamini ati peaceful protest zinawezekana na watu walitokea kwa wingi. Watu walitrek all the places. Alafu jioni kabisa wakakutana wakatulia place moja wakikuwa wamenyamaza. Hakukuwa na watu wenye wanashout ama nini, kutulia tu. And that was enough. Juu hakukuwa na kitu kingine yenye ilikuwa ina happen the whole town. Sasa mimi naamini watu wanaweza tokea bila hata kushinda ati sijui watu wakishout sijui nini. It is possible watu kutokea na bila ku make a lot of chaos. Juu niliwitness moja yenye ili happen na watu hawakuibiana, watu hawakuvuruga vitu, watu hawakuvunja maduka and stuff. Everything went on well. Nao polisi hawakurusha tear gas ama kushoot mtu yote. Yeah, I know huo wanajaribu sana venye how kucontain, but sasa kama hiyo hakukuwa na kitu yenye walidu. So mi naamini ati people can have peaceful protests na we can make change with that without having kurusha mawe kwa barabara and stuff. Nikimalizia, I would like to kuongelea issue ya kuko na watu fulani wenye inasemekananga, yani ni kama watu hulipwa kutokea yani. But so mi naweza aje watu, this is our country, we are doing it for our country. Kuko na watu wengine wenye wamejitolea sana kufanya hivi without expecting anything in return. So we do it for our country, not for money or stuff. We do it for our country. That is how we are going to save our country. So I'm ready for tomorrow. Tutokee si wote, tuungane pamoja. Asante sana.
Asante sana mzee Joroge. Kiyoti, kuna swali limeulizwa ati watu wanakutana wapi? Hebu wajibu sababu sina jibu. Kiyoti.
Nairobi yote.
Mtu anauliza watu wanakutana wapi? Ukienda kwa timeline yangu kuna posters nyingi sana zenye najaribu kuzipost and we still working with my graphic designers to ensure that we produce more. So kesho kama uko Nairobi wewe tokea Nairobi. Kama uko Kiambu wewe tokea Kiambu. Kama uko Bungoma tokea Bungoma. Na isikue mali kama hapa Nairobi, of course najua swali ni Nairobi. We don't have a specific place in Nairobi. We'll be in CBD. Wewe kuja CBD by saa 2 saa 3 tutapiga firimbi, hivyo ndo tutaanza. Yeah? Kama utakuwa hiyo side ya Kencom na watu waanzie huko side ya Harambe Avenue, utawajoin into your side. So just be within CBD because hatuwezi sema tutaanzia mahali fulani specifically because of security issues. Yep. Alafu posters naona mnauliza za kaunti zenu. Ziko nyingi bwana, tunajaribu kuzitoa tunajaribu kuona venye zinatolewa. So just hold on. Yeah, utapata kila kitu kwa timeline yangu.
KOT, there is just a circular that has been shared by the police. The circular reads as follows. Protest alert, nationwide total shutdown planned for Tuesday 7th. Deployment in expected hotspots. Nairobi CBD, Moi Avenue, Kencom, DPO, Githurai, Rongai, Kisumu, Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa, Kisii, and any area adjacent to university zones. So that is a circular that the police has shared on their WhatsApp. So
Can I ask you something very quickly, please, if you don't mind me talking?
Mimi, I'm on the National Police Service X account. I can't see any circular. So I don't know.
Can I ask you something very briefly?
Kuna wale wa Nairobi imekuwa shared kwa WhatsApp group yao because mwenye ameni screenshot here is actually a cop.
It's an internal memo between them.
So mwenye ameni screenshot here actually is a cop. Mwenye ameni screenshot here ni a cop. Sasa ameniambia hivyo ndio ameambiwa. But amesema yeye kesho atakuwa street na yeye hata tupiga.
Najua wewe ni best yetu. Share with me.
Can I ask you something, Mzalendo?
Yes.
Wamekutumia route, wamepatia watu whips, nyaunyo.
Hapana, wametangaza routes mahali watakuwa deployed kesho.
Na watu hawajakutumia mahali wameweka watu wako na vijiti ya kutupiga.
Hapana.
Waambie wakutumia hiyo hata by 5 we will appreciate.
Okay, tuendelee. Haya, Prince Brian, alafu niende kwa Patrick.
Thank you very much. Hi cousins, I hope mnanisikia.
Hey, by the way, tulisahau cousins.
Cousins bana, mnasahau aje cousins?
Saizi tuko kwa revolution.
As long as we are fighting the same fight, sisi wote ni cousins, sisi wote ni brothers and sisters. Nianze by kuwagotea na nishukuru KOT, nishukuru Anjeko for this space and for allowing us to hata hii space bana, kwa sababu last year tulideclare war na in recent days nimekuwa nikiambia the people around me that last year was a huge declaration of war and the war we declared was to occupy, and occupation lazima to occupy kila mahali. It does not matter in what space that the classes may want to place us. It does not matter where the people in power currently wanataka kutuweka, but since tuliamua ku occupy, we have to occupy in every space, including kesho mimi tupatane CBD. By the way, nilikuwa very privileged kukuwa part of maandamano ya last year na nikaenda home nikiwa sawa. Hata at the time kwanza ninakumbuka nilikuwa na katululu, siku hata ninaingia X wachani na sisi wenye sahi tunapangana hapa, and inshallah hata kesho tutatokea na tutarudi home very safe, kwa sababu we are very peaceful and we are fighting for our country. Ninataka kuteka a couple of minutes ni wawashe moto kidogo, kwa sababu ni vizuri tusisahau what we are doing out there. One, it is very unfortunate that we have lost an incredible soul in the hands of the police, na nina appreciate hii conversation yenye kila mtu anasema this is not the only person mwenye tumelose, we have lost a lot. Mimi kwanza personally kwetu mtaani ni Moshadha, mimi nimetoka Kiambu, na a couple of months ago there was a young man who also died in police custody, na tukafanya hadi maandamano kwa streets, alafu kidogo maneno tu ikaenda tu ikiwa imecheza chini. So listening to this story, it cuts very close to home, na ni lazima yenyewe tutokee tu, because leo wamekujia mtu fulani, utakosa kuongea juu sio wewe, juu sio wenyu, juu utasema sio kazini yako, you know, whatever you'll want to say. Tomorrow they'll come for you and you'll have no one to speak out for you. More than that, ningependa tu tukumbuke kitu moja. Tuko kwa ile msimu ya finance bill, na for those of us wenye wamepitia hiyo document, it is absolutely bonkers to say the least. Hii kitu ni insane. Yani mimi sikudanganye, sijaiona wenda wazimu personified. And more than just the finance bill, we have a couple of bills that are in parliament. We have hii maneno ya the information and communication amendment bill yenye wanataka kusensa huku X. Absolutely crazy and insanity, man. Rather than these politicians wenye tulipatia our power to our indirect power to exercise it on our behalf, rather than them sitting down and discussing matters of public interest, maneno ya education, maneno ya medication, maneno ya the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Agriculture is falling to shit. Our security sisi wenyewe, the people in power have become now the perpetrators, have become the criminals wenye sasa we are supposed to take care of ourselves against them. It is so insane that priorities za hii nation ziko so misprioritized. Yani hakuna mtu mwenye ako in power sahi mwenye anafikiria kuhusu the common mwananchi hapa hivi chini, and it is absolutely sad. So kesho tukitokea kwa streets, we are not only going to the streets juu ya criminal fulani anaitwa Lagat. By the way, mimi sijui kwa nini tunasema hapa, sijui ati a resign ama umse. By the way, anafaa kuwa ndani saa hii, tuanze tu story zake mapema because it is too much and enough it's enough. Two, tunajua yeye ni the puppet behind the master. Sasa tunataka the master behind the puppet. Sasa inabidi sasa we start being very critical in whatever we are asking for. Tutaacha tu kuchukua the small fishes, because hata mimi bana, in as much as huyu ni big fish currently, mimi naona akiwa a very small fish. We need to be going for this hawa watu wenye wameamua, yani hakuna venye hii Kenya itaendelea. And one, mi ninasikitika sana kwa sababu hii Kenya ni yetu. I have a 3-year-old bana, na mimi hakuna venye sasa nitaachia huyu 3-year-old akuje akweni atapigania hii nchi yangu. Wacha tupigane sisi wenyewe. Kama ni kutuua itabidi wametuua all 52 million of us, all 54 million of us. Na yenyewe inabidi sasa we embody our constitution, because our constitution is one of the greatest documents we will ever have. And article 1, you would never imagine, kwa nini msijiulize kwa nini haikuwekwa article sijui namba ingine, iliwekwa article 1 that the people, the sovereign power belongs to the people. Kama kesho, na by the way sijui kama mmenotice kuna maghasia wengine wenye wakujifunika funika na mask, ni kama hawataki kuonekana tukiwa maandamano. Mkipatana na wao style ni ile ile ya Shakila, unatoa mask na unapiga bari, kwanza tuwatambue. Na hiyo story by the way imeni piss off, because even in the law, in the National Police Service Act, it says they should not be they should have identification. Hawa si hawafai kujivalisha hizi mamask zenye wanavaanga. Ukipata na mtu na mask kesho, treat kama gaidi. 2, hawa maneno ya maguns bana, I've been in contact with some of the business people or some of the people in the business community of Nairobi, and these people are very pissed. Not only because the things zenye zinaendelea saa hii time ya maandamano, but even in normal days, these niggas wenye ni the goons sasa, they just come and harass these people for absolutely no reason. It is up to time tumeamka sasa tupambane nao watu, and it's just a couple of human beings wenye wanataka tu kubembelezwa kidogo, tuonyeshe the sense, you get na as I agree with a couple of speakers wenye wameongea, let's work in groups. Don't be alone. If you are alone bana, kidogo tafuta kindred souls. In as much as unaweza kuwa umetoka kwenyu ukiwa peke yako, you are never alone ukiwa time ya maandamano. So tafadhali usitembee peke yako. Wanaweza jaribu hizi maneno zao za abductions kesho. Mkijaribu kuona Subaru bila number plate, choma, kwa sababu hiyo ni criminalism. Na hii Kenya inabidi sasa every person has to, ni jukumu langu, kila mtu achukulie jukumu lake. I do not want to hog the mic. Thank you, very important. Wanjiro, KOT and all other cousins, nashukuru sana. Na tupatane kesho kwa streets, bro.
Asante sana Prince Brian. Na watu wako kwa DM yangu. Asanteni. There's someone on my DM, I just want to put this out. Ameniambia Wanjiru, unajua what we can actually do? Sijui tumwage kinyesi kwa barabara to distract anything. Ni idea tu, lakini give us ideas on how to even do this, sababu tumejaribu, sijui hiyo ya kinyesi venye itakuwa because I'm yakish, but it's also an idea to continue on.
Hajaweka pay bill. Hajaweka pay bill.
Hapana.
That's a big boy. Anyway, I'm joking, guys. Sorry.
She's actually a lady, but I'm so happy for that lady. It's Nyambura. Nyambura, message imefika. Let's see kama watu wanaweza fanya hivyo, kama venye waliweka takataka in front of KPLC. Protest can be done in so many ways. Anyway, to continue on, we have secret.
Anjiro, mimi nikidrop ninajitolea kufanya hiyo kazi ya kinyesi na takataka. Hiyo ninajitolea wallahi.
Kumbe ilikuwa inaweza fanyika.
Very bad, very
This
bad.
is it.
Na unidrop sasa upe watu wengine
This is
nafasi.
escalated.
I know. Anyway, secret.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm okay, Wanjiro.
Welcome back.
Yeah. The other time you guys cut me off. Well, Mabonga alifunga space without me.
Aliibiwa simu.
Oh, sorry. I'll talk to him. Niko na namba yake, nitaongea naye kando. Yeah, so nilikuwa nasema before Mabonga akatiwe simu, achukuliwe simu, I had a lot of things in mind that I wanted to say. Like I just wanted to draw attention to the theater yenye tumesikia leo. You know, within 24 hours, we've witnessed a lot of things happening, like carefully choreographed attempt, you know, by the political class to hijack the tragedy. Now, waiweke ni kama, it's like they had a meeting prior today just to script out everything, because kwanza ilianza na Gladys Wanga showing up at Albert's home. Okay, not because he really cares, he doesn't. But then akakuja, then for optics, for political optics, akaanza kucoach huyo baba ya Albert on what to say. If you're a Luo like me, ungesikia kwa background alikuwa anasema like ongeza pia jina ya Raila. Okay, so within your span we were still debating because we heard Albert's father saying, oh, Ruto has now taken Albert as his son, and he has called me and he has apologized, and we were getting disgusted or disturbed by the scene. But hata haikuenda sana. Then we saw tukasikia sasa Lagat may step aside. Okay, now before we were still debating what is stepping aside and what is resigning. Then tukasikia sasa Muhwana has now said from Citizen TV that Muhwana is now saying that now Albert was apanishiwe tu kidogo, haikukuwa pigwe sana kiasi ya kifo. So if you look at this chronology, like it's something that they had planned, you know. It's strange that all of these things have been happening within the 24 hours, less than 24 hours, within hours. It's a lot of drama, scripts happening one after the other. Hawatupei hata time ya kupumzika. You know, once ukilog out tu kidogo ukirudi unapata there's another thing that is happening on top. And all these things, it's because they wanted to divert attention. Okay, they already know they anticipate what is going to happen tomorrow or how angered Kenyans are, and now they're trying to divert attention from the main thing. So the thing is, Tuesday is Tuesday. That is one, and the issue is because Albert was killed. Yeah, and Albert deserves justice, but it's not just about Albert. Albert is not an individual anymore. Like every other speaker has talked about it, Albert is not an individual. Albert now is every other young person mwenye amekuwa murdered with the Ruto regime. Albert is Baby Pendo. Albert is Chris Musando. Albert is Masai. Albert is, name them, all those nameless bodies that were left in Baringo, in Kware, in Madare, all those people that have passed through police brutality in Kenya. Albert are all the young men that were killed, massacred in Parliament last year. All of them are Albert. And Albert still is me and you. Every other person who is not really sure about living tomorrow, you know, because in Kenya, it's against, you can't speak your mind anymore. So Albert is everybody. So really, right now, we don't really care that maybe Albert's father was already given some money. It is okay because, again, that is our money that he's taking. So it's okay. Mzee achukue pesa, but it is beyond him. It is just beyond him, you know? And again, we should protest against that idea, the ideology of buying people after police brutality, because we saw that with Sando's wife. We saw that with Baby Pendo's mother. We saw that with every other person that police is killing. And then when we go to the streets, they come with money to buy people. So then you ask, how many people are they going to buy? You know? So really, that is one of the things that should make every other Kenyan to be on the street that, you know what, we are tired of you guys using, coming with money to buy victims. That is not how we want to see justice being done. And that is not justice in the first place. Just stop killing people. Make our country, and stop the idea of, okay, we are going to kill you and then we will buy you with some £2. It's crazy, you know? So Mimi Kesho, well, I'll not be there, but I've always protested in ways that are still together. Like I wasn't in the country, for example, last year, but I was one of the people who went to demonstrate in London, and I've always seen what I can do, even if I'm far away, or whichever little contribution I can do. Kesho, another thing that I wanted to say is that there's something that happened last demonstration, which I talked about and which I think should be implemented. Every Mandamano day, we should have like numbers of like people who or a line that we can help people who are going to be sick or to be shot or to be, to be maimed. It should not even, it should come it should come automatically before we even hold spaces. We should know how are we going to help the people who are sick so that Kenyans know that we are in this together. Isikuwe ati somebody is ameshutiwa ama ako na maumivu kwa hospitali and then sisi tunaendelea na kuongea kwa space without really knowing where our other cousins or comrades doing. So kesho, in that whole preparation, tukuwe na measures ya kujua how are we going to deal with hiyo watu wenye watakuwa wagonjwa. How are we going to help them? How are we, ni nani atakuwa nashughulikia na iko wapi line? What can we do for those of us who might not be in the country but would still want to contribute to the maandamano? Yeah, that's another thing. The other thing that I wanted to say, that I wanted to talk about is what is the name? These guys, the goons of Raila Odinga and the goons of Gaucho. Sometimes, by the way, sometimes you look at the way some of our people are, unashanga. Mtu sasa kama Gaucho, we've seen people, yani wenye hata sikuwa najua Raila Odinga can actually betray, or watu wenye Raila Odinga could move past their deaths. Somebody like Msando. Msando comes from my clan, from my area where I'm coming from, huko Nyanza, huko kwetu, Chago. Imagine Msando being killed in a way that you don't even want to. And then in less than a year, Raila alikuwa already ameshaenda akasalimiana watu wenye waliua Msando. Sasa wewe Gaucho, or these people who are still telling us about, wewe unadhani Raila nakupenda sana yenye you are dead, or you are like, do you really think that that man really cares about you so much that he wouldn't move? Sometimes you think, sometimes hata wewe tu ufikirie before uingie kwa vitu kama we've seen Raila Odinga move, like great people who killed some of the most useful people in our community. Unaona? Ni kama hata the day that Msando died, the whole village, the whole of Msando's clan, we never thought in our imagination that huyo jamaa ataenda kusalimiana na watu waliua Msando. And then sasa wewe ni Gaucho. Honestly, mi saa zingine Kenyans also, like, we should be serious. We should be serious. And anyway, thank you so much but like usikue hivyo, utakufa vibaya na hakuna mtu atashughulika na wewe. That is my point. Like hakuna Raila hata akujui, if he is not using you as a tool, there's nothing about you that Raila really cares about. Gaucho and your fellow fools, and the people who are still stuck in the ideology of, we are doing this to punish. Bro, you are not punishing anybody. You are not punishing anybody. You people who are still stuck in that political propaganda of, we are doing this so that Kikuyus, we are doing this so that the Luos. Fuck off. You are stupid. You are stupid, period. Like, mnaturegesha nyuma, honestly. Mnaturegesha nyuma, and our country is stuck. We are suffering losses in billions because of stupidity. By the way, if you could calculate financially the amount of losses that we are undergoing because of stupidity, because of people like Gaucho, because of people like Sudi, because if you look again, the people who have installed or who are around the tyrants like Ruto, ni watu wenye ni wajinga. And if you calculate the amount of losses or the stagnation that we are going through as a country because of stupid people like Alai, like Gaucho, like Sudi, they're the ones who are making these tyrants to look as if wako na watu. And at the end of the day, the whole country is under a yoke because of these people who are just stupid. Thank you, Mabona. Please don't be like Gaucho. Don't be stupid. Utakufa vibaya. Imagine hakuna mtu atashughulika na wewe. Raila akujali.
Sawa, asante sana Secret, tumesikia. We shouldn't be like Uchwa, lakini kesho nawakumbusha street ni street, asubuhi na mapema, watu wa Nairobi, everywhere. We should actually occupy every other city in this nation. Hata kama wewe unaishi wapi, you can occupy. I see James I am Shege occupying a police post in Kisumu, and I'm so honored and I'm so proud of him. So si lazima kuwe Nairobi ati maandamano ifanyike, hata sisi wa huko kwetu Mlima, you can just go and occupy hapo, useme with a poster, just andika tu kwa karatasi useme justice for this, lakini mkwe wawili watatu, so that the message can be heard. We must be seen, we must be heard. And continuing, I just want to read a tweet, I think from Nyambura, the girl I was telling before, ametuandikia hapa chini, people be ready na Mavi, as we look forward to use jetty currents to bring in more. It's one of the most feared and stinking thing. People hate it. So wakichapwa nayo wanaenda kuoga kwanza, ground inakuwa yetu. Ikimwagwa kwa duka, no one will open their business due to discomfort. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be another massive win. So inaweza tumika pia. Then I also have someone on my DM ananiambia, kesho tukienda maandamano, if we can carry our constitution, ikuwe kama Biblia, you know, if we can carry our constitution, apparently polisi wanaheshimu constitution. So if we have our constitution with us, najua hapa kuna Wakristo wengi, sijui kama I don't know, but it's also an idea I'm getting on my DM. If we carry the constitution, tuibebe tuseme ni haki yetu na imeandikwa kwa hii constitution. Mi siaminiki kanisa, lakini ni kama ina polisi wanasikianga mambo ya constitution. So I think it's also an idea we can dig on that. And tukiendelea, let me give it to Patrick or what? Patrick Osoi, alafu niende kwa Unlord na Dr. Nimlord. So Patrick Osoi, the mic is yours. Are you ready for tomorrow?
Ready like never before. Never retreat, never surrender. That's the language. Anyways, I want to sing something and say that there's one song that we used to sing when we were going for the battlefield. And I've always said, this is not just Mandamano. We must wear a mind of battlefield. We are in a war zone. It is not practical where a government that does not even observe the rule of the law to say that we are going to have maandamano as usual, as is provided by our constitution, because they don't follow it. They don't follow the law. They don't understand the constitution. They are not there for constitution. So what I want to say is that, one, I want to request Salendo, whatever point you raised is very important. Write them to the space so that everybody can understand one by one on what it is, because part of what you said is what I wanted to say. And also what Wanjira said is also very important for this team and the young people, for this country to understand. Because if Ruto is not there in the seat today, how would it be? Just think that tomorrow we wake up and there is no government. Are we ready to form the government? Has always been my question, and I will always continue to ask for us, the young people. And so that we can have in mind to know that, are we ready to form the government? Are we ready to bring the reforms? Because if we are talking about the reforms, then we need to have a referendum. Can we stand out and say that, you guys, we are going to raise funds to fund the reforms or to refund the referendum, to make sure that we have a constitution that we can adhere to? Again, what I want to say is that it's important for us to work for security reasons, as always work as a group. And I want to request everyone coming tomorrow, have at least something like a jumper, a sweater, so that now, just in case there is any attack, one of the things that can help you to have maybe a precursor defense is to have a jumper kind of a thing to wrap on your hand, to be able to prevent yourself and get closer to the enemy. And this is what also I want to ask. I've always said, all the time we are going for a maandamano. What are our objectives? What do we want to achieve at the end of the day? And again, I want to say that murder case is a capital crime. Capital crime, what it means is that all suspect, whether by being an accomplice, or by any, you are found in the circumstantial, or you are circumstantially found in the space of a murder case, which is a capital crime, you are supposed, one, to be arrested. So what we fail to do, and what has been failed to do, and what we should enforce to do, is all persons involved by any manner, either by a compliant to be an accomplice, or two, they were circumstantially found in the circumference in the murder of our brother Albert Ojwang. Those people should be remanded, or two, arrested, or being confined as the investigation are taking part. Why? Because they can interfere. As we are seeing today, we are seeing interferences of this matter. The other day I asked myself, this is not an issue of legislatures to discuss in the parliament about a murder case. This is an investigation matter. This is a justice. It is justice matter. These things these things are supposed to be determined by the court jurisdiction. Anyway, there's one song that we used to sing when I was in special forces, because when you're in special forces, you go to the war zone and you don't know whether you're coming back home alive or not. And this is what it used to say, if I die in the battlefield, tell my mom and papa that I did my best. And then I'll say, if I die in Mandamano, tell my mama that I did my best. If I die in a Mandamano, tell my papa that I did my best. If by any chance we go, and I want us to wear a mind of war, this is not just a joke. And again, I want to say, for any suspect of persons sending goons to the peaceful Mandamano, we should always take an action, whether after or as we go ahead with Mandamano. And what I want to say is that to encourage this group is to say this. We must bring impunity to zero tolerance. We must bring some things that are unlawful command people to zero tolerance, and people who should be arrested. And why I said everyone from whoever was sent to arrest Ojwang, one, there's one thing he failed to do. They obeyed unlawful command, which is an offense. They went to arrest somebody outside the jurisdiction of the arrest, which in this case, they do not have a court of order or a court order to arrest Ojwang. If they did not do that, then also they should also be charged with murder if Ojwang died, or they are the ones that killed the Ojwang. Secondly, the people at the central police station, they should be charged with negligence, murder, or a second that is to the murder case should be an accomplice to murder case. DIG Lagat, by all means, through all means, the person necessitated the death of Ojwang. All these people should be locked in at the moment as we speak. To actually, if there is any investigation that is being carried out, it is not in the parliament. The investigation and the justice is found in the corridors of justice, in the legislative, in our judiciary. So all these games that people are trying to play, should it be played for? And again, what I want to say is that what reforms, when we are talking about reforms, what reforms do you want? And we are saying about goons, what course of action should we take? Tomorrow, as I say, everybody should carry something that is a little bit heavy. Myself, I said I'll offer myself to at least offer something little here in matters of security. When you have something that is like a soft thing, either a sweater and maybe a hood or something, it is important for you to have it, so that when these goons come, you can go against them with a wood protecting your head with your arm. And we capture one and we teach them the lessons And once the lessons are home, they will learn it. Again, any crime against and any capital crime is a crime against the state, is not against a person. Therefore, Baba Ojwang, whether achukue pesa asichukue pesa, hiyo ni yake, kwa sababu that is beyond him. This is a capital crime. It is a crime against the state. We, the people, are the state. We are the people who are grieved by the death of Ojwang. This rogue government, if we don't silence it, I am telling you for a fact, it will not be easy for us, especially as we prepare to take over the government come 2027. Again, we want to be very vigilant as young people. And as Wanjira said, and other people have spoken here, how prepared are we, especially to take over the government? And I said again, KOT, after and even after this win of this Mandamano, we have to sit down and craft a way and ask ourselves, how prepared are we? How well are we prepared to make sure that even if by elections that are coming, we can be able to take those elective seats? Power is never given. Power is taken. We must have a mind to know that we have to take the power. We have to go for it. We have to make sure that we have structures and formations that will help us to take power. If you allow me and this team allows me, we must have also come up with an application. This application will capture probably what professional are you as Patrick Kosoi? If Patrick Kosoi is a security expert, how many people are we in security expert as Gen Z and millennials? If it is about doctors, how many doctors do we have as millennials and Gen Zs? If it's about communication, if it's about lawyers and legal people, how many do we have? So that some cases, even before we come to this point, we can have some cases and things taking them to court. We finance them, we take them to court. When Gashagwa speaks, we take notes and action on those intelligence or those information given to us. We cannot afford to be sitting on information given to us and we wait one of us to be killed for us to go for an mandamano. We have to be proactive anytime to make sure that we camp every loophole that this government system, the rogue government, is trying to impose to us. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said again, we should also understand one thing. Not all police officers, as somebody has said here, somebody has offered some information. Not all police officers are rogue. So what should we do to differentiate between those who are rogue and not? But any chance we get any information about any formation of any rogue unit within the government system, we immediately action into it. Why am I saying this? Taking over a government, even the government that you know that people have been able to take over the government, security agencies were involved, whereby civilian and security agencies merged together and said, enough is enough. We have to go for the sovereignty of our people. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just allow others to give their contribution. But again, the arrest of every person, our main goal and objective for tomorrow's Maandamano, if I was asked, is to make sure that every single person who is mentioned by circumstantial or anything must be remanded, if not remanded, confined, to make sure that the investigation, if there be any investigations, to be undertaken. And we know the verdict of all these things. There are things that we cannot circumgate around and say that DIG is not in what. As long as he gave that initial command, it means that if he never gave it, then Ojwang would have not died. So by any chance, he stands out to be a responder, the first responder to the murder case of Ojwang. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not just speak about resignation of culprit. Let us not just talk about just them resigning, but them being confined or being remanded by the court so that the investigation can take its course. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, be safe. Walk in a group. Don't walk alone. Make sure by any chance somebody coming to attack you, make sure you wear your soft thing. Let us go for him, and that will help us to camp every other goon that is being sent to us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. My name again is Patrick Osoi, and for a goodwill, I've always said and I always say, I declared my presidency for 2027 from last year, May, and I'll still push. And as a former person in the security agencies, I've told you guys, I will be there. For any person who is losing, for any information, especially for any mobile number, I've seen people who have been saying that, oh, a number sent me this and this. Inbox that number to me. I'll give you the details of that number because we are who we are. And we are going to make sure that by all means, we take over this government and have the government that we want, a government that is caring, a government that is not issuing threat to the citizens, but a government that is issuing a statement to protect the Protestants. To even when you read that memo, it is not about the citizen or people, about the people. It's about humiliating the citizen of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to finish my submission. Thank you.
Wajiro and Koti, does it also bear mentioning that apart from the next president who just spoken, a lot of us who are not 25 years old are also licensed gun holders?
TOT jibu.
What's the question?
It's not a question. I just pointed out, apart from the next speaker who was the next president or whatever, we take to the street to demonstrate peacefully for a piece of document that we wrote. I remember back in the days, my friend Ekuro, who was my former lecturer, I was a consultant in the team that wrote the Constitution. We believe in it. But as Wazes, does it bear mentioning also that we are licensed gun holders? So going to the street to demonstrate peacefully and being whipped with Nyaunyo doesn't, sit very well with a lot of us.
Oh, if you're a licensed gun holder,
A lot of Kenyans,
yeah, just come pitch.
no, that's not the point. A lot of Kenyans, they take to the streets. We were being whipped in some little cafe, just trying to have lunch last week.
I remember we were together actually, me and
Yeah, if
you.
you remember that, and just because I'm a
Mm.
driver, I even can remember trivia. He was marooned somewhere, and a dude whipping you and you at your age, it's it flies against everything. So whoever is sending these goons, and there's a lot of talk of Raila or all these people. If you're sending them, remember that we yeah, we're also Kenyans.
Yeah, I think any goon should just know that we'll have to face them.
Tunaendelea.
So yeah, kesho we will still face those goons. So acha niwaambie bana, kuna watu wengine hapa tunakanga wapole, lakini ikifika time ya kama ni sitaki kuongea hiyo word, we just face them guys. I think tunafaa to end space soon. Yeah, juu hata mimi hii side yangu hakuna data bana, data iko kuisha. Ukiona umekuwa na 500 MBs, jua in the next a few minutes we are going to drop off. So tutaallow wase waende wajipange ndio tuamke mapema tupige maandamano. So yeah, wacha tusukume polepole. Wanjiru, unajua mimi sioni speaker yoyote.
Sawa.
We KOT tuko hapa.
Aya, wacha nipatie Tommy 27 amekuwa hapa for hata Dr. Nimrod Guy, mtanisamehe kila mtu. Saizi I will actually give you kila mtu dakika tatu we finish up kabla bado za KOT ziishe. So ukipata mic please be brief ama utuseme Ruto must quit ama tuende kesho. Let it be so brief so that wenye wako kwa speaker at least wapate chance ya kuongea. So Tommy 27 akina kupatia dakika 2, Nimrod the same way, Sankare the same, Yasa, Adenga na the truth Majariwa and almost everyone anaongea. So Tommy, your 2 minutes start now. Tommy, are you ready? I think Tommy is not ready. So acha niende kwa Dr. Nimrod. You can have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Wanjiro. KT, comrades power. Listen, guys, Wanjiro I got a few points because some of them are critical based on tomorrow. So you'll have to allow me. KOT, I'll sort you out. Where add that, alafu check your phone. I'll sort you out in a minute. First of all, I'm talking to the Kenyan people. The events which have unfolded, these events may unfold tuka Jonga apotee, achukuliwe na apoteze maisha yake. What picture do you get out of it? As a Kenyan, common sense, what do you read out of it? This is a government complicit to murder. This is a government which has deployed each and every resources within its availability. Mpaka president amehongana. Raila pia amehongana for them to cover a murder of an innocent Kenyan youth. What does that tell you? What does that tell you as a government? What do we have as a government? I'll leave you to first on that one. Yeah. Okay. My few points reference Mandamano Kesho. Okay. As also said a few things, I just need to top it up. First thing first, if you can get a pair of gloves, please make sure you ukona umevaa gloves kwa sababu zitakuja handy, and not surgical gloves. We need either working gloves or easy gloves za baridi zitakusaidia. And then uko na chupa maji, make sure uko na socks. Find one of your heavy socks at home. Uko na socks moja ambayo ni mzito, kuwa nayo kwa mfuko. That will come in handy when the tear gas gets thrown. Unaiwet, alafu you tie it around your nose. It will save you a lot of dramas. Okay. When it comes to goons, nitaambia tu ukweli, reality check. We have to set an example. Shock or no. Kenyans have to, how my goons, they have to decide which side they are on. Because we cannot be fighting a government which is owned by the goons who have got weapons, alafu huku kwa street tunapigana watu ambao baadaye kesho they come and laugh at us. Oh, wanakaa they pretend that they are one of us mitaani. No. Watu lazima, somebody, they have to, example has to be set. Choose side. Ukichoose kuna upande wa politician, wewe jioni kifika endo kalale na politicians. Mtaani sikanyage. Kwa sababu magunzo na watesa, this is the problem with Kenyans. You've become so timid to a point where people like Gaucho, ama that idiot who are so who ukiangalia afya yake, first of all, he needs to be in a drip in Kenyatta National Hospital. The guys got the audacity to their Kenyans. And this is where the problem is. This is where the problem is. Like somebody said it clearly. We are allowing idiots and goons to be led by village idiots who are controlling the country. And that's why I look at how much money. Look at Angalia, Kenya, what is happening in the country right now. It is so sickening. Another thing, Kesho, please make sure, yeah, if you can get a fast field dressing, a bandage, make sure you katika uko mfuko yako ama kwa bag ile rasa kuna beba, you got either a bandage, yeah, something to patch up if you get injured, if you're bleeding. Alafu kama uko na spare belt ambao utumii, beba, weka mfuko. That is a tonoke. Mtu akipigwa risasi ya mguu akona bleed, kabla umwage damu aishie, unafunga bali juu mali kuna injury to slow down the bleeding, so you can get the person ASAP to the nearest treatment point. Another thing, we have to kesho we have to designate sanctuary places, churches, hospitals. When you find yourself at the wrong time, at the wrong place, if there's a med center anywhere, a hospital somewhere, endo ka lodge hapo, wacha kukute hapo, kutoe hapo. Kuna CCTV huko. We shall see what they're doing. If they can come in and wataka hospitali kama vile Wazirel nafanya Gaza, let them do it to Kenyans. We see how tough these guys are. Then the next morning, the whole country rises up. Okay? Remember, location, relay your location to a close confidant or rela, or your relatives. Someone mtu anajua ukosa kusikika baada ya few hours ama masaa kadhaa ukosa kurudi, ata raise nini? Ata raise awareness. That is critical. Okay? Make sure simu kitu tunaogopa uji moto na simu ikiwa 1% battery, because whatever will happen tomorrow is what we will start building for the 25th. Mimi nilisema 25th, wacha kiumane. The next thing I'm going to come up with is, anajua hapa ndani kuna mapolisi, kuna DCI, kuna NS, wote wako hapa. We got even go doctors and nurses. Kama wewe uko hapa unajua ndugu yako, dada yako, ama yuko Tarela, ama you know somebody who's a nurse or a doctor, na mwambie my friend, kesho mali hospitali atakuwako, wherever they'll be. If they see somebody come in injured because of maandamano, they should be a first priority. Mtu asianze kuuliza tu uko na SHA, sio uko na nini. That is a Kenya who went out there fighting for a better pay, a better life condition, a better society for that nurse, doctor, whoever works there. The same thing boils down to business committee. Vile happened 25th June. Kenyans came together. If we come together, they don't have powers. Tukikuja pamoja watu, if you unite, hata wa maguns, what lay down their arms, they'll join us. Because the numbers will overwhelm them. Let's not tusikubali kuwa dragged into a street fight na maguns. No. We should unite. And this is what I'm calling in each and everybody. Wewe kama uko na shop, please, jua kesho maji utapeana bure. Just that's your contribution. At least you've done something to change the country. You contributed for that change. Because reality check, Kenya falls, hata utenda down. Kenya kiamka, hata utenda. That is a reality check. We have to agree on that. So, hizo vitu nimerelay juu ya kesho, it's critical. It is critical. Pay attention. Pay attention. Kwanza hiyo kitu ya first aid is critical. Hiyo socks, gloves, protect yourself. Because tomorrow, hao jamaa watakuja. Hao magunzu hakuna kubembeleza. Hakuna kubembeleza. Hakuna kubembeleza. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which is critical too, is the reality check of, the reality is this government. Yeah. Kenya has never had a government. The only government probably we had resembling a government is the days of Kibaki. But since 1963, we've never had a government. What we've had is politicians who act as like mini gods to us. And we are the slaves. That is the reality of the country. And that is what is happening right now. That is what is happening right now. And if you look at the slave history, the slave trade and everything, Wazungu said they were too powerful. No. Accomplices. And accomplices are brothers and sisters in uniform. And I said it the other day. Gen Z are the ones who are running this country. Ruto and Gengeleka, they're not running countries. They might have the bosses, PSs and CS and our directors. But the people who are on the ground actually doing the real work, making things the cog roll. It's Kenya, mimi wewe na wao wengine. Let's sabotage this system from within. We sabotage this system from within. Wewe kama polisi unajua kesho kuna group release that statement tonight. By kesho asubuhi wananchi wanajua what kile jamaa wametupangia. Because we're not going out to the street to fight anybody. Nobody is going to the street to fight anybody. We just want justice. We want just a working nation. A fair and just society. That's what we want. But these people cannot offer that. And this is a perfect example of Kifo ya Ojwang. And hata Kifo Ojwang is nothing. Mimi nakwambia, look at that quarry. Let me tell you one thing. If we get Ruto government out and we get a decent government, as Kenyans, we should drain that quarry and how many bodies are in there. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked how many human remains we get out of that place. Yet we've been saying we've got a government. Unafikiri ni watu wangapi, familia ngapi zimepoteza watu wao Kenya hii? Mwingine hata labda family mtu watu they never had anybody or they never had anything. Nobody to raise awareness for them. Na imeenda tu quiet. Bosire alipotea mpaka leo hajajulikana alienda wapi. There's a lot of names. And you guys are sitting here thinking like this thing is a joke. Hii kitu, my friend, mkikosa ku-actualize, let me tell you, be ready. Be ready. Mnafikiri at Ojwang. Here Ojwang is a walk in the park. They will clean you. The same thing they will do is shock and awe to you, Lord. They will surprise you with so much brutality that hata kutoka mtakuwa mnafikiria mara mbili. So you either die fighting with your uko umesimama raising your fist up, or you just accept to be a slave to the politicians. That is the reality. What we want is a government for the people, by the people. Any politician after the revolution, any politician who decides to go into politics, he should know that he's not going there to do business. If he hasn't got the characteristic or the charisma or the will to serve the people, atoka kafanya biashara zake. Hakuna mtu amezoea. No one has stopped you to be a millionaire. Go do a legit business. Fanya biashara, make money. But do not seek an elective seat or elective to become a president to end up doing what you're doing. Impoverishing a whole nation just to satisfy your ego and to feel your wrath of being called a multi-billionaire. Na yote utakufa. Moi yuko wapi? Moi yuko wapi? Moi yuko wapi? Na ile pesa yote yuko nayo. Moi used to have everything. If people remember, anybody who is old enough, look at your history. Look at Moi the way Moi used to own Kenya. Where is he today? Where is his son? Where is his family? At least Moi alikubali time yake ilivyofika, he never fought. But whatever Ruto has done to this country, my friend, yeah, we should not let it lie. Come to finalize this history ya Baba Ojwang, my friend, kwa Kenya wenzangu, as much as I was pained, I was so cross about him, but I have to accept poverty. I said it, and I've been saying it. In Kenya, we don't have, hatuna umaskini. We are poor by design. And this has actually vindicated my point. We are poor by design. Look what they did to Albert Ojwang. His only son, they killed him. Huyo mzee amepewa milioni 2 mpigwa simu na Raila akapewa na amepromise nyumba. Okay. I will say it here openly. Nitaisema saa hizi. Yeah? Nitaisema saa hizi. We go kill Ruth Odinga, ama Nick Ruto, and we give Ruto 2 million. And we give Raila 3.5 million na tuambie tuwapatia nyumba, and that is it. Let's see. Is that fair call? Is that justice? Is that justice? If that's what they're classing as justice, is that justice? Then we serve them the same treatment. Will they call it fair? I tell you, my people, this is where now you go to realize you are slaves in your own country because of the politicians, the people you elected, pretending to be the leaders. But actually, they came to be a slave masters. That's why they can kill you and give you 2 million and tell you to go to the media. That is a sad part, the deprivation and the rot in our society where we are at the moment. And I'm sad to say so. Most of the majority of the political class going around the country now fighting Kasongo, they're the same caliber. They're the same caliber. And I said, anybody who's below 30 years, if you're not fighting for this country, then you might as well just decide to kind of, either you move to a better country, or you accept your fate. And that's the reality. And nimesema hata wazee wamevaa uniform.
Dr. Nimrod, I'm sorry, but
Thank
I
you.
think
Okay. Yep.
You just need to summarize because time is not on our side at all.
Roger Wanjiru. Thank you. Okay. With that, please, I need to emphasize about Mandamano. Those key points are kind of raised. We need to be together and we need to work as a team. And Kenyans for Kenyans tomorrow. Thanks.
Asante. So for the next set of speakers, I'm not going to add literally nobody because except already. I will just give you 2 minutes each person, and I apologize for that. I know Jackie and Japonji would like to speak more, but we need to finish the space before midnight by all means. So I'll just give each and every person 2 minutes. You forgive me.
Wajiro, give me
So
1
that we
minute
can
only. 1
sleep.
minute, then I'm out. I'll go.
Okay,
Thanks.
your minute
Okay,
starts
I'll go.
now. So I already
Thank you all. And the first thing I wanted to say is that, guys, we are 1,000 here. Mabonga is saying I corner 500 MB and no one cares. This is revolution. Revolution is not cheap. And you are the same people mnasema ati nani amenunulia Baba Albert. Guys, let's donate for KOT Sonko. It will be very sad kesho mtu akiumia juu hatuna pesa, ati mtu anaenda OC alafu anaumia na anachio hapo juu hakuna do. Guys, let's pull up our socks. Revolution is all way. We are fighting from the air, kwa land, sea, online and everywhere. If you cannot show up kwa ground, at least toa hizo do za data. That is how we move. Yeah? So hiyo number ndio hiyo iko hapo juu. Guys, let's do whatever we can, especially kama uko kwa diaspora. This is our strength. We don't want mabonga nunuliwe. We have to fund our own revolution. So that's all I wanted to say, Wanjiro, and see you tomorrow, kesho asubuhi. Thank you.
thank you, Japonji. Yeah, keep the comments short as that. We obviously appreciate Guy in your singizi. Sankare, the mic is yours. Keep it
Mi
2
hata
minutes, please.
my network has a problem today. Sijui ni huyu mtu wa network ndampiga na mawe pia, but I'll go just quickly. Last week I had some injuries on my hand, legs, but tomorrow I'm still going to come. Ndapona tu like I'm a soldier, no giving up. And that's why I'm nasikiza hii song ya Eriko Inaina, inani motivate. As much as sijapona, I'm not going to give up. And I was very injured badly. Even my family wanasikia ninaenda maandamano wako like na ujapona, but guys, just a motivation. If una feel uko hurt na hii government, usi give up, ukae home. Mi wameni hurt kwa roho na wameni hurt hata physically, but bado si give up. Still kesho nda show up. Ni time ya kureform kwa police system yetu, from wache kuitisha hongo kwa matatu, wache kuzunguka wakichukua pesa kwa wines and spirit, wache kututreat kama shit tukienda kuchukua OB kwa police station. Manzia wase utuongelesha ni kama sisi ni maabusu, wache kukushika ni kama wameshika sijui nani na we ni Mkenyan. So it's all about kuchange. Kifo ya Albert inataka kuchange system ya police service. Tusiangalie tu kifo ya Albert na abduction. Hawa some kwa kitufinyilia sana 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 sana. Si kwa gari unaona wakitisha hongo, inatukasirisha. Wanazunguka huko kwa nyumba za chang'aa, alafu wanakuja the next minute wanasema vijana wanakufa na chang'aa. Si wakati unaenda pale kuandikisha kesi yako, gender based violence, kama wewe ni kijana umedungwa kisu na msichana wanakutukana. These guys are arrogant na ni time to attain. So kesho tutokee, ukikumbuka vile Karawa na kufanyianga pale mtaa, manzi tokea. Mimi najimotivate hapa na hii song, na kesho nitaingia, wakitaka kuumiza hii mkono ine waumize. Another Sankali is going to be born. Thank you.
And we wish you quick recovery, comrades on Sankare. Yeah, last week he was injured and he's still going tomorrow. So sijui mko na excuse gani ya kutoshow up tomorrow for the comrades who have been injured. So thank you so much, Sankare. Yasia Kim, 2 minutes, please.
Hi, my guys. Kesho ni the big day, but mi niko na challenge to all of you guys, especially wale ma millennials kwa hapa manze. You guys, you should be telling the Gen Z how venye hii gava iko. Hii gava, there are so many things. There are so many cartels wenye wako huku ndani. Vijana wanatumika kama magoons because no one is reaching out to my youth. No one is telling those people who are dropouts or class 8 or form 4. Those people do not have that knowledge. Ndio maana wanaenda wanabaiwa, wananunuliwa, because they don't know how their CDF works. They don't know rights za huyu MP anafaa kufanya nini kwa group, anafaa kufanya nini Kibra. Wale wase wenye mnatengeneza masheria hapo hivi, it is time for you manze. We can't just be saying we are going for maandamano. The people who know the truth, the people who know what is happening, wase wenye wanabai matenda. Some of you, your parents sahii wamekataa kuretire. Some of you, my parents sahii wananunua makazi. Hizi ndo hypocrisy zenye zinafaa zizungumziwe. Hizi ndo vitu zenye zinafanya KOT anatuomba hapa hivi bundles ya 500. Hizi ndo vitu zenye inafaa tuangalie before we think about hiyo maandamano. What is the cause reason and what are we going to achieve? YY in a comedy alisema Kenyans sisi ni wase emotional. Is it true? Sahii tumebadilishwa hapo hivi na tumesubjectiwa hapo hivi, Lagat must resign. What are our key asks? Remember last year Ruto alikuja akasema 10 days nitawapatia IEBC. He did nothing. Ndo hapa hivi sahii kina Murkomen wanatucheza. Ndo huyu msee anaibisha Uislamu manze, ana hapa na Quran. There's nothing like that. Huyo msee, anyone who was thinking about the Islam religion, that guy is a faulty person. That guy does not represent Islam. Na Uislamu kama Mungu amesema do not steal, and a person Wanjiru ukiiba, hiyo ni shida yako, you and your Lord. But when someone uses religion to demystify their fake habits, that is them. But we have normalized hizi issue mpaka inakaa tu church ikiongea hivi. No, honesty. Let's ask ourselves, what is the meaning of honesty? The moment wewe utakosa kuruka hiyo traffic light, the moment wewe utakosa kununua hiyo kazi, the moment wewe kama intern you'll be able to speak in that office and tell that boss you're doing a wrong thing, that is when we will be removing. Tumezungumza kuhusu Ruto, yes he's the big boss, lakini parastatals huku chini ndo anatumaliza. People don't want to retire. People are seeing NSSF inaliwa, inafika time yake ya kwenda home, hataki kwenda home because ali make wrong decisions. So let's make sure manze tunakuwa na our key asks and making sure when we are having a president is not also the party leader of the other party, sijui the ruling party. Hapo ndo tunakuwa controlled. Anyway, time ni kidogo, lakini all in all, good stuff. Let's show up in numbers tomorrow.
Asante sana Yasia. Kesho ni kesho, tunaonana. Majaliwa, the mic is yours. Dakika 2, alafu tuende kwa Rabia. Then the truth, alafu tumalize na Alenga Tolo.
Maneno ya kurecord like watu wenye wanapata injuries ama incidents zenye zina happen, ndo at least ukikuja hapa jioni we debrief, tuone venye kumekuwa. Unajua si vizuri mtu alienda maandamano and then anaumia na huko peke yake, so I think that's a good idea and personally I can help with that. I'm a data analyst, so I can do that. Another thing nilikuwa nataka kuongea about the Baba Albert mwenye nimesikia sijui akisema nini leo. So I was thinking maybe siku moja we can have like a Gen Z huko Homa Bay, amlete hapa kwa hizi one of these spaces, asikie venye watu wanasema na asikie understand the struggle that we are trying to deal with, what we are fighting for. Ni kama this older generation hawaelewi what we are trying to do, so maybe anaweza letwa hapa aelewe, so that akienda kurecord one of those videos ametumwa na gava tena akuwa anajua. So basically ni ku encourage each and every one of us, we must continue fighting as hell. Juu manze, if we don't, watoto
watoi wetu naona like by the time wafike 20 huko maybe 2050 watakuwa wanaenda kufanya kazi za mboch huko Rwanda, na we can't allow that. So we have a very unique responsibilities, our generation, to fight for freedom, to fight for this country manze. We can't do mediocrity anymore. Hatuwezi kubali hiyo. So I think nita end hapo for now because the time is kidogo. So thank you everyone, kesho tutoke. Thank you.
Asante sana Majaliwa, tupatane kesho kwa streets. Kesho ni kesho. Kuna mtu ananiambia kesho tunaweza beba pilipili in case wawashe moto, wakienda kuzima hiyo moto polisi waanze kulia. I think it's also, I think pilipili na moto ni something, na alikuwa anasema kama tunaweza jitengenezea tear gas yetu. Anyway, mambo ni nyingi. Labia Hawa, good evening ama ni good night?
Sijui tutasema ni asubuhi. Habari za asubuhi, manake naona bado ni mapema. But asante kwa hii fursa. Mimi yangu nilikuwa nasikiza hii space na kuna dada wetu mmoja alikuwa anaongea hapo awali, anaitwa Wanjira, and she spoke about the implications of the finance bill. Yani changamoto yake ile alikuwa anatolea ni this, yani hii vita ile iko is the other wider issues ile pia tunafaa tusizisahau, na finance bill ni moja wao, na unajua kuna baadhi ya bills zingine pia zenye tunaona zinaenda tu kupitishwa na hata hakuna meaningful public participation, hakuna meaningful stakeholder participation. Kuna bills zenye ziliforwardiwa za seed and oils, kuna bills za wildlife, kuna bills pia, kuna mikutano kadhaa zinaendelea kuhusu issues ya mining. So hata pia ingekuwa ni vizuri tuzingatie hizo maneno na tujaribu pia kuzikumbuka kila wakati, because we're trying to build a better Kenya. We're trying to push for better governance. Of course, extrajudicial killings is a very major issue at the moment. And extrajudicial killings pia huwa ina transcend kwenye hii sectors, human rights and environmental rights defenders. Yani threat iko tu juu kila mara. Na tukijaribu pia kuangalia issues of good governance pia ni muhimu, manake utaona kuna baadhi za sheria zinaenda kupitishwa na sauti za wananchi, sauti za communities wenye wanaishi kule mashinani hazisikiki, yani hawatoi ile maoni yao. Wakijaribu kuwaita zile public participation wakuta ni box ticking exercise. Sijui kama pia mlipata habari za leo, kuna I think 200 illegal mines yenye zitakuwa zinaenda the communities, manake pia maji yao imeenda kuchafuka in the river Turkwell. Kuna some na inasababisha watoto pia wapate, so you know there are just so many. Kuna challenge pale. Kwa hivyo ikiwa sasa pia tunapigania haki, tukumbuke pia wao wenye wako mashinani, manake wao hawawezi kuungana na wenye wako Nairobi physically, lakini bado najua kuna baadhi ya watu pia wanaombea kila mtu usalama yake. Cha muhimu pia ni usalama. Watu angalie wakiwa wanaenda nje, wajaribu kuhakikisha kwamba mwenzake ako sawa.
Labia, can you hear me? We can't hear you at all. I don't know. Should I copy? Unanisikia? Yeah, seems like she has a problem on that. I'll give the mic to, maybe you can drop and come back. I'll still give you the mic for as the last speaker. I give it to the truth and then Alenga Toro. So the truth. Kesho tunapatana kwa street. Are you ready to say the truth? Ruto must go. And justice for Ojwang ama lada ni gani? Anyway, the truth, the mic is yours. Haya, the truth hayuko karibu. Alenga Toros. Mwadhani. Mzalendo Alenga, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Shiro, for this opportunity. I think I've been listening in and I've been particularly excited that our resolve is still up there. We are still committed to fixing this country. And all the speakers that have spoken before me are indicating that we are ready for the struggle. And I just want to come in to say that it's not going to be easy, but it is possible. One thing we need to contextualize this struggle in this sense that there's a generation that has sat on power, that has sat on resources, that has sat on opportunities, and we, the young people in this country, are just but tenants. We're just operating on their sympathy and their mercy. That is fine, but now they have graduated this to now killing us because they do not want us to ask the questions that we have. They are silencing a whole generation. So the death of Ojwang is just but a fraction of what is happening to clear the population of the young people in this country because they do not have jobs to give us, the jobs that they promised. Those jobs they have reserved for their friends, their families, and their children, and there's nothing to give us. The empowerment they have always been talking about, they do not have it for us. We are going to school and graduating every day to come and sit with our parents, the same parents who sold the goat they had, who sold the cow they had to take us through school, hoping that one day you'll get something and you'll give back to the community. But you come and realize that you are doing bad than even your own parents. That is the tragedy of our generation. And therefore, I say, these older people, our parents, they will not understand this struggle. And that is why I ask all of us to forgive and just forget what Ojwang's father has done, because his generation was raised like that. They were conditioned to accept pain, accept loss, and above all, fear everyone in power. That generation cannot understand what we are talking about. They cannot understand our struggle. However, every generation must fight its war. Here is our war. There was those who fought the colonialists. They sent him out of the country. There are those who fought for multipartyism. They got it. There are those who fought for the new constitution. They got it. Now we have a struggle. We have a war that we are simply asking for dignity. We are asking for equality. We are asking for respect. This is our war, and it must be fought by us. So then what are the obstacles in the way? One of the obstacles is you've heard that politicians are hiring goons so that they can fight us on the streets. We are going to deal with those goons, mundo humundu. We are going to take a message back to the senders of those goons that it is not safe to betray the will of the people of Kenya. That one we must do it ourselves. If we want to be respected by those goons, if we want to be respected by the senders of the goons, we must stand up for ourselves and defend that last space that we have. Number two, we have the politicians. The political class wants to serenade us in that the speech that they always say every day, do not politicize everything. We are where we are because of bad politics. So our struggle is already politicized. And we must deal with these politicians in the way that they deserve. These politicians live in the communities that we live in. They have children like us. They have houses. They have whatever. They cannot continue to enjoy while we suffer in this country. We must take our message through these politicians and make them pay for what they are making this country become. we have a question that we will not be able to answer our children. When our children grow up and they find this country that has been dismembered, this country that has been tainted, this country that has been choked and has nothing to give to its children, our children will ask that question: Dad, Mom, when all this was happening, what did you do? So let it be written somewhere, even if we do not succeed, even if we lose our life through that struggle, that our children will remember this is where my father or my mother pushed up to. She tried her best, he tried his best and pushed this demon up to this point. Then maybe for me, I can push the demon further until it exists this country. We must not give into fear. The political class is selling fear, and I will tell you why they are selling this fear. They sell the fear because they have looted wealth, they have buildings and fancy houses they have bought through proceeds of corruption. They have their children studying in expensive schools, others are abroad, others where. So they have everything to lose if we destabilize this country for the sake of finding a lasting solution. And that is why they always run to preach to us peace that is not there. And I tell you tonight, there is no reason to have peace when you have nothing to put on the table. There's no reason to have peace when your degree does not count for the sweat and the investment that you put in it. There is no reason for peace when you cannot breathe in your own country. There is no reason for peace when you can die because of 280 characters of a tweet. I mean, we cannot simplify human life to that level. This is a country that everyone is entitled to be in as long as they were born here. Nobody is here on the invitation of William Ruto. Nobody is here on the invitation of a politician. Nobody is here on the invitation of the IG of police. We are all here because God caused us to be here. And we will fight in this space and repair the broken system that they have broken. And we are not repairing because of ourselves. We are repairing this broken system because we have children who have been born here and they will ask us questions. Lastly, I think we must go into this protest starting from tomorrow with a different mindset. And I agree with my brother Osoi as he says, we must go into this with the mindset of a war. It's not peace. It is not enough to just carry your handkerchief and your water and your phone. You must be prepared to combat the person who comes to you, because you are not going to lose your life freely because you are struggling to prove that you were a harmless protester. They are killing those harmless protesters. So do not go down like a chicken. Do not go down like a bird of prey. You have to defend your life to the last limit. We cannot be sold fear in the territory of this country. We have to speak up. There will be a cost, there will be a price, but everyone has to fight for something to come through. If we are supposed to fix this system, it is us. Those people we were waiting for is us. We have a responsibility as this generation to fix this country and deliver a better country to those who are coming after us. When we go to the streets tomorrow, I am just asking, let us not make the mistake that we made on the 25th of January. Let us not listen to the naysayers. When we went on the streets on the 25th of June last year, there are people who started preaching a gospel on these platforms and telling people, please go home. The military is coming. They sold fear because they had been paid to do so. When we go to the streets, if you have seen all demonstrations that have succeeded to remove a government, the citizens went to the streets and they decided to stay. I am telling you for a fact, if we go to the streets tomorrow and we do not return home, so that it becomes a humanitarian situation where some people will even Red Cross will start bringing food on the streets and water to feed people. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, more people will come. The day after that, more people will come. When we fill all these streets and make the country completely out of function, the government will bow down. And nobody should ever lie to you. From a legal perspective, nobody should ever lie to you that the only way this poor administration, this torturous administration, this callous administration of William Ruto can come out of power is through the ballot in 2027. That is a lie. Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear that the people shall exercise this power directly, or they may, which is an optional choice. So therefore, our constitution is not open like other constitutions in different jurisdictions where if the party in power falls out of power, then the military takes over. Here, there is no stage for the military to take over. The constitution is very clear on what can happen if we force the regime of William Ruto to leave this country, if we force these people that are in power to become fugitives and to leave this country. The constitution knows what can happen. If we get out the executive and we get out the parliament, because that is where the biggest problem is. In the order of precedence, then the Chief Justice can take over the country and give us an election after 90 days. So nobody should lie to you that when you force a government to cede power, it is illegal. It is not illegal. If it was illegal, it would not have been captured in our constitution. And the easiest way that citizens can force a regime to cede power is by disabling the country in terms of occupying everywhere. It has happened in very many jurisdictions, and you have seen that yourself. It happened in Korea just a few months ago, where citizens occupied the streets. They were not killing anyone, they were not burning anything, but they occupied the streets and they were not going home until the president got out of power. So we have a choice and we can make this happen. What is happening in this country is not something that you need to wait until 2027. I am telling you, if we wait until 2027, we shall have no country. We will have no country. Listen and see what is happening today. See how they are killing us blatantly. Then add those people 5 years. What will happen? We need to rise up. We need to speak for ourselves. We cannot die like chicken as we watch. Ojwang has gone, but if we do not rise up and tell the administration that enough is enough, tomorrow we will be crying about another Ojwang. And after that, we'll be crying about another, and it will become a story. We have a choice and we have a moment. This is our moment. And I finished by saying that this is our war, the war of our generation. Let's step forward and fight this war. Our fathers cannot understand our pain. They cannot fight for us. They're even too old to do that. Our mothers cannot do anything. But instead, we stand in the gap and defend this country. We are not doing this because we are anarchists. We are not doing this because we hate Kenya. We are doing this because we want a better place. We want a better place for our children. We cannot give birth to children in this environment. We cannot give birth to children in a poisonous environment like this one. We need to stand up and defend this country. We are doing this not because we want to bring businesses down. We are not doing this because we don't want foreign investors to come. We are doing this because we want a better place for ourselves and for our children, because we deserve it. We're not asking Ruto for something different. We're just asking him for a fair lifestyle, the same as his children. We're just asking for a fair lifestyle, the same as the children of the ministers, the cabinet secretaries, the PSS, the MPs. We are not asking anything foreign. I mean, we are not asking anything foreign. We're just asking, can we live a decent and dignified life like your own children? I yield.
Thank you so much, Alenka. Kesho ni kesho. We want a better future for our kids. I know Maria asks, watoto wetu wakizaliwa watakuwa wanatuuliza, mbona you didn't fight for the country? Why did you leave Ruto to loot and kill and murder and, destroy the entire country? So tomorrow we're going to ask for justice for everybody, to ask for justice for our future kids, to ask for justice for Albert, Lex Masai, and every other comrade who has died because of police brutality, because of this log government, because of abductions. We are going to ask for justice, and let's not forget, we are asking Lagat to resign. Stepping aside is not enough. You're asking him to resign, to leave power, and to go to committee. Nitamtembelea committee. Kwa Kikuyu, we have Jera Initiative. Like, we go visit people in committee and they give us their stories. We will go there in committee. We want him gone. And he shouldn't be replaced by Bungei. We are not recycling shit and putting another dustbin, you know. So let's meet tomorrow. Kesho ni kesho. So we are going to add the space. I think I'm going to give it to KOT so that he can finalize the space. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you for staying with us the entire evening. And tuonane kesho kwa States. KOT, back to you.
Okay. Shukran sana. Tumekuwa na very good space mazee. Na nimeshukuru data bana. Nimepata data hapa. Sasa kesho nita update fiti tukiwa pale kwa streets. So tuendelee kupush bana. Kama hujaona poster ya account yako, tafadhali tafute DM ama unitumie jina ya kwenu so that we can make more of those posters. Otherwise mazee, tumekuwa na a very nice space. Na kesho mtokee. Isikuwe tu tunakuja hapa tunaongea and then inaisha. Tokee kesho, tuendelee kupush until to get that momentum ya wasee kuamua kama ni mbaya, kwetu mbaya kama tumeenda. So nashukuru sana bana. Anjiro, si hivyo? Tumalize, sio? Okay, sawa, sasa tupatane streets kesho.